What is going on, guys? It's Ryan. Welcome to the YouTube channel. I'll be documenting my trading journey as well as things that I do in the gym and just like daily lifestyle vlogs, stuff like that. So this will be my first video. It's just going to be a trade recap of the trades that I took today. I'm currently on a one-of-one funding 100K account. Currently in a little bit of drawdown. So let's just get into the trade. I'm going to take you guys through my journey of becoming a profitable trader. So we'll go over the two trades that I took today. One was a win, one was a loss. Ended up making around $812 profit, which is a little less than 1%. So I'll show you guys the trades that I took, what I saw, and what made me take them. So first trade was a GBP JPY long. Let me delete all this stuff and then I'll just put it back once go over it. So first thing, we'll zoom out to the higher time frames. So the 4 hour, right? We ended up sweeping this liquidity right here on Thursday, January 4th. And yeah, this was also in discount. And you know, I wanted to see longs from here targeting this high. So pretty much on this trade, what I did wrong was mostly execution. My bias was 100% correct. We ended up going to the highs that I saw. So let's zoom into the 5 minute and I'll show you where I ended up entering and, you know, what I could have done a little bit better. So swept that liquidity, came up, ended up inversing this 5 minute fair value gap. Once we came back into the 5 minute fair value gap right here, this is where I ended up going long. I had my stops below the fair value gap, so let me zoom to the 1 minute just so I'll show you like where exactly the exact point I entered. I think I got filled like around here. No. Yeah, I got filled like here, and then my stops were below the gap, so I had a really tight stop on this. And then what was I targeting? I was targeting equilibrium of this internal range, which was my first price target. So let me get that going. From high to low. So this is my first take profits right here. Then my last one was this high. And then unfortunately we ended up getting stopped because my stop loss was really tight on this. And we ended up coming into this 3 minute fair value gap and holding that before eventually running to our profit targets. And we formed SMT at the lows here. And then we ran to equilibrium of the range and then this recent swing high. So what could I have done better? I probably could have made my stop a little bit bigger. I mean, I think this was only like a 6 pip stop. So yeah, I could have made my stop a little bit bigger. Execution wise, I'm pretty happy with this because, you know, us running through that 5 minute fair value gap and rebalancing price here, that gives me conviction that we don't want to rebalance again before going higher. So I'm not really too upset about this trade, even though I lost. My risk was really solid. I only lost around 0.25%, so we'll take that. And then we'll get into the second trade that I took, which was on NASDAQ. This ended up hitting all of my profit targets. This is probably the best setup that we've had in a long time. So I will show you what I saw. which made me inclined to take this trade. So when market opened, I'm gonna delete all this stuff again. Okay, so when market opened today, we were inside of, let's zoom out to the 4 hour. I think we were inside of a 4 hour fair value gap. Yeah, we were reacting off of this 4 hour fair value gap down, and we had come into this 4 hour bullish fair value gap. So we're in kind of like a fair value gap sandwich, I guess you could call it. So I wanted to wait for a little bit more structure to validate itself before I looked for some kind of setup. So that's what I did. And then we zoom into the 15-minute. This is where I was like, okay, we can see some longs here. So first thing, we created a breaker and SMT at the low. So we had low, high, lower, low, higher, high. And then we also formed an SMT here. S&P ended up sweeping this low here at 845. And NASDAQ did not. So that gives me even more conviction. Low to high. This is the breaker. So we want to come back into here. And what do we have inside the breaker? A 15-minute fair value gap. I was like, all right, beautiful. This is exactly what I want to see. Let me just add breaker here. Breaker. So came back to this 15-minute breaker, and that is when I entered into targets. So we'll zoom out again, 15-minute, show you what I was targeting. So my first price target, which honestly I shouldn't have had as a price target just because I didn't really need it to be. And I should have made my price target this 15-minute fair value gap instead of here, but it's only a couple points, so it's not the biggest deal. So I had 3 partials for this. And I entered off of this candle right here. Long position. I might stop below this fair value gap right here. Just a little bit more, just so if it wanted to go a little bit lower, you know, I was protected. Yeah, and we ended up running to all of our partials. The only thing that I think I could have done better on this trade is moving my first partial profit target to this 15-minute fair value gap right here. I would have made a little bit more profit, but honestly, it's not the end of the world, because a lot of times we'll see that we come up, sweep these highs, and then we'd go see lower. But I was confident that we weren't going to do this just because this is a higher time frame play. And yeah, there's a lot of confluence in this trade. This is probably the best setup that we're going to see all week, especially with the news coming out later in the week. It'll probably get a little rough. Yeah, these are the trades that I want to be taking day in and day out. Obviously, 15-minute breakers they don't come as often as, 1-minute breakers. This is why I was able to have a 90-point move. Normally the moves that I catch are anywhere from 25 to 40-point moves, but since this is so much more higher time frame, I was able to catch a big move like this, which is awesome. Excited to follow up with you guys. Should be dropping a vlog. I think I'm either going to record it tomorrow or Thursday. Just a little day in the life. Do the trade recap, all that good stuff. So catch up with you guys then. Peace.